Artificial intelligence is sold as the ultimate solution, convenient, efficient, and transformative. But beneath the glossy surface, there are uncomfortable questions. Who controls it? What risks are hidden? What ethical lines are crossed? The rapid rise of AI dazzles, but it also distracts us from what's left behind and what's lurking in the shadows. Tonight we peel back the layers, not to fearmonger but to understand the full picture, the promise and the peril. The choice is yours. Stay comfortable or see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Picture a box. You feed in data and out comes a decision. But you can't see how it works inside. This is the reality of black box AI systems so complex that even their creators can't always explain their decisions. When AI influences loans, healthcare, or justice, shouldn't we know why? Without transparency, accountability slips away. If a mistake happens, who's responsible? The programmer, the data, or the algorithm itself? Trust in AI demands openness, not blind faith. As these systems shape our lives, we must demand clarity before we lose control. The future shouldn't be mapped by invisible hands. Automation isn't loud, it's a quiet hum, a subtle force that seeps into our daily routines. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare or warning. Instead, it quietly transforms the landscape of work, one task at a time, one role after another. The change is so gradual, so understated that most people don't even realize it's happening until it's already here. The office that once buzzed with activity now sits in silence. The empty chairs a testament to jobs that have quietly vanished. Replacing jobs with software updates and algorithms, automation slips in through routine upgrades and new technologies. What once required a team of people is now handled by a single line of code or a robotic arm. The shift is invisible, but its effects are profound. Entire departments can be replaced overnight, and the only sign is a new interface or a faster process. Across industries, roles disappear before most notice. Factories, offices, and even creative spaces are transformed with fewer people needed to keep things running. The workforce shrinks quietly, and the loss is often only felt when it's too late to adapt. The promise of new jobs and retraining often rings hollow. While headlines tout opportunities in tech and innovation, the reality is that many displaced workers struggle to find a foothold in this new world. Retraining programs are underfunded and the skills required are often out of reach for those most affected. Truck drivers, paralegals, even artists, no one is immune to this silent shift. Automation doesn't discriminate, it targets any job that can be broken down into repeatable steps. Even creative professions are feeling the pressure as AI learns to generate art, music, and writing. The safety nets are patchy, and retraining can't always keep up. Many find themselves caught in a cycle of short-term gigs or unemployment, struggling to adapt as the ground shifts beneath their feet. The promise of a seamless transition is often just that, a promise. Progress is touted, but who really benefits? If gains aren't shared, the gap widens. The rewards of automation often flow to a select few, while the majority are left to navigate uncertainty and shrinking opportunities. The divide between those who profit and those who lose out grows ever larger. The real danger is silence. Change happens without debate or support. When jobs disappear quietly, there's little chance for communities to prepare or respond. The conversation about the future of work is often held behind closed doors, leaving those most affected without a voice. We need real strategies, not platitudes, to ensure no one is left behind. It's time for honest conversations, bold policies, and a commitment to shared prosperity. Only then can we hope to build a future where technology serves everyone, not just a privileged few. The architects of automation are unseen, but their impact is everywhere. As we move forward, the question isn't whether change will come, it's whether we'll shape it together or let it happen in silence. In today's world, we're watched more than ever before. Cameras on every corner, sensors in our pockets, and the digital footprints we leave behind are all being tracked, cataloged, and analyzed. Artificial intelligence has supercharged this surveillance, making it faster, more efficient, and far more invasive than anything we've seen in the past. Every movement, every interaction, every online search or purchase, AI is there, quietly observing and learning. AI doesn't just collect data, it connects the dots between our actions, habits, and relationships, building a web of information that's often invisible to us. This analysis happens at lightning speed, and most of the time it's done without our knowledge or consent. Our faces are scanned, our voices recognized, and our preferences predicted, all in the name of security, convenience, or profit. Surveillance isn't just for criminals or those suspected of wrongdoing. It's become a routine part of everyday life, tracking everyone, regardless of guilt or innocence. AI systems build detailed profiles of our lives, mapping out where we go, who we meet, and even what we might do next. This constant monitoring creates a digital shadow that follows us everywhere. Meanwhile, legal and ethical safeguards struggle to keep up with the rapid pace of technological change. Laws are outdated, oversight is limited, and the rules that should protect our privacy are often unclear or unenforced. We find ourselves participants in a grand experiment, one we never truly agreed to join and whose consequences we're only beginning to understand. The chilling effect is real. When you know you're being watched, it changes how you act, what you say, and even who you choose to associate with. People become more cautious, less willing to express themselves freely, and more likely to self-censor. The simple act of gathering with friends or speaking your mind in public can feel risky under the unblinking gaze of AI-powered surveillance. The question of who controls this vast ocean of data is more important than ever. Governments and corporations both collect and analyze our information, often working together or blurring the lines between public and private interests. As their power grows, so does the risk of abuse, manipulation, and unchecked authority. If every action, word, and movement is logged, analyzed, and stored, what freedoms remain for us as individuals? The boundaries of privacy are being redrawn, and the space for personal autonomy is shrinking. We must shine a light on these shadows, demanding transparency, accountability, and stronger protections, before the very idea of privacy disappears from our lives forever. What you see online isn't random. It's curated by AI algorithms that learn your habits and shape your reality. These systems create information bubbles, reinforcing your beliefs and filtering out dissent. Misinformation spreads fast when algorithms chase engagement over truth. Echo chambers deepen divisions, making dialogue and shared facts harder to find. Who designs these algorithms and to what end? To inform, persuade, or simply addict? Our opinions and emotions are subtly manipulated, our attention monetized. True understanding requires stepping outside the algorithmic comfort zone. The media no longer just reflects society, it shapes it, powered by unseen code. Predictive policing promises safety but often perpetuates old biases. AI trained on skewed data targets marginalized communities, creating feedback loops of over-policing. The result: systemic inequalities are reinforced, and the presumption of innocence erodes. These black box systems lack transparency, making accountability nearly impossible. Justice guided by biased algorithms risks punishing people for what they might do, not what they've done. We must question if this is the future we want for law enforcement. In today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, the power of artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly concentrated. Just a handful of massive corporations and influential governments are seizing control over the direction and development of AI, shaping its future in ways that affect us all. These organizations possess not only the financial resources, but also the technical expertise and infrastructure to dominate the field, leaving little room for smaller players or independent innovators to compete. The sheer scale of investment required to build and maintain cutting-edge AI systems creates enormous barriers to entry. From sprawling server farms to teams of world-class engineers, the resources needed are out of reach for most. This environment stifles competition, discourages fresh ideas, and slows the pace of true innovation. As a result, the same few entities continue to set the agenda, deciding which technologies are developed and how they are used. Such concentration of power poses a real threat to freedom and democracy. When only a select group controls the flow of information and the tools that shape our digital lives, they gain the ability to influence what we see, what we know, and even how we think. This can lead to manipulation, censorship, and a loss of individual autonomy, as decisions are made behind closed doors with little transparency or accountability. The interests of these powerful organizations may not always align with the needs or values of the broader public. They can set the rules, dictate terms, and prioritize their own profits or strategic goals over the well-being of society. This imbalance risks creating a world where technology serves the few, not the many. The global race for AI supremacy only intensifies these challenges. As nations and corporations compete for dominance, the focus often shifts from ethical considerations and collaboration to winning at all costs. This competitive mindset can sideline important discussions about safety, fairness, and the long-term impact of AI on humanity. So, how do we push back against this growing centralization? The answer lies in building a more distributed, democratic AI ecosystem, one where open-source projects, community-driven initiatives, and diverse voices have a seat at the table. By supporting transparency, collaboration, and shared access to technology, we can ensure that AI serves everyone, not just a privileged few. The benefits of AI must be accessible to all, empowering individuals, families, and communities. When AI is developed with inclusivity and fairness in mind, it can become a tool for positive change, improving lives and expanding opportunities across society. Ultimately, we must work together to ensure that the story of AI's future is not written by a select few, but by all of us, collectively shaping a world where technology uplifts and empowers everyone. AI is moving from analysis to autonomous action. making decisions without human oversight. In finance, warfare, healthcare, and more, machines act faster than we can react. Autonomous weapons raise chilling ethical questions. Can a machine understand morality or empathy? Even in daily life, AI decides credit, insurance, and job prospects, often without recourse or explanation. When humans are removed from the loop, who is accountable for mistakes or harm? AI optimizes for goals, but life is messy. Unintended consequences are real. The push for autonomy risks erasing human judgment and compassion. We must set boundaries before we cede too much control. Regulation is meant to protect the public, but powerful AI companies often shape the rules to suit themselves. Lobbyists and industry insiders influence policy, pushing for light-touch frameworks that favor incumbents. Policymakers, lacking technical expertise, rely on those they should regulate. The result: weak rules, slow responses, and public interest sidelined. The stakes are high. AI isn't just another gadget. It can reshape society and rights. Robust, independent regulation is essential, with diverse voices at the table. Without it, AI's future will be written by the few, not the many. As AI power centralizes, a resistance grows, pushing for democratization, transparency, and accountability. Open-source AI breaks down barriers, letting anyone build, scrutinize, and improve the technology. Decentralized computing and data commons shift control away from corporate giants. Grassroots education and activism empower citizens to engage critically with AI. This isn't about rejecting AI, but about building systems that empower, not control. The seeds of a fairer, more open AI future are being sown. It's an uphill battle, but a necessary one. Ethical advocacy is rising. Researchers, activists, and insiders demand transparency and accountability in AI. They fight bias, push for diverse datasets, and insist on explainable glass box systems. Independent ethics boards and legal frameworks are needed to guide responsible AI. Whistleblowers expose hidden dangers, fueling calls for change. These movements remind us technology reflects its creators' values. The goal is not just smart machines, but wise and ethical ones. The blueprints for a better future are being drawn now. We've explored AI's hidden side, not to scare, but to spark awareness and action. The opportunities are vast, but so are the challenges to our freedoms and dignity. Transparency and vigilance are essential. We must demand that technology serves humanity. Stay informed, seek diverse views, and support ethical AI movements. The future isn't set, the choice is ours. Choose wisely.